It's a cool Monday morning right here in the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, Lagos. Welcome. My name is Ashalolu Femi. Of course, this is Sport Africa. This is where we deal with everything that has to do with football and other sports on the continent of Africa. Welcome once again. I hope you had a fantastic weekend for yourselves. James Ogundare is here. James Agberebi. What am I saying? James Ogundare. Kayode would not be able to join us today, but never fret. Of course, we have so much to discuss on the show today. Now, James, before we get into our regular programming, welcome. How was your weekend?
Yeah, Femi, it was good, and I hope yours was nice too.
I know your weekend has to be nice because everything is going well for the Gunners right now. All right, fast across the world, let's take you to our regular programming on the show. Of course, we'll be doing the continental roundup, then we'll be doing the talking points. Then our Star Diaspora today, we'll be going to Cameroon. And of course, even in our big talking point, we'll also be going to Cameroon. And then the match of the weekend, we told you we have the Samatex versus Midima. We'll be letting you know how that pans out and what it means for the Ghana Premier League this season. James, of course, okay, let's take you through the continental roundup. Yeah, despite the recent things bedeviling the football in Ghana, of course, things are going from bad to worse. Newly appointed assistant coach John Petio sued a number of journalists in Ghana for, according to him, libelous attack following their disappointment. And of course, in Cameroon, Marc Brys, remember last week we told you that it was announced as the new coach for the Indomitable Lions by the sports ministry. The FECAFOOT has declared that appointment illegal, and we don't know where this is all going or when it's going to end. James, let's get started. In Ghana, I think we need to ask a question actually on who has bewitched Ghanaian football. I don't know whether you I think you should be able to remember this. Before the appointment of Eto'o, is return, John Petty was one of the assistant coaches. But before then, I remember there were these protests in Ghana about the GFA reforming football in Ghana. And in an interview, John Petty himself, he said there's nothing wrong with Ghanaian football. And that elicited a lot of backlash. And one of it is what he has picked now. And he has sued a number of key journalists, popular figures regarding football as football stakeholders in Ghana. Popular journalists that we all know. And we have Christopher Nimley, then Patrick Osei, Ironman, Countryman Sango. That one is a very, very vocal individuals. This is a time when there should be a concerted effort about taking Ghanaian football forward, James. And we are seeing this. And according to reports, the defendants, it is a serious matter. And the defendants also include the multimedia group, Angel Broadcasting Network, Omni Media Limited, and the four aforementioned journalists have been served with a writ. They are given 8 days to respond and enter an appearance in court. James, this is a massive, massive distraction because, like I said, it was supposed to be a concerted effort for everyone coming around to hold up football in Ghana. But rather, we are seeing what we can call a drag down.
For me, even a drag down is an understatement because you begin to ask yourself why is it that all these things are just coming up now? Why this distraction? I mean, this is a team that's been all through a lot. The Black Star couldn't make it out of the group stage at the last AFCON, and the whole idea was, okay, maybe they should just come back and start afresh and chart a new course. But it keeps all these distractions keep coming up. Remember when Chris Hughton was there? A member of the GFA was on a live program condemning the appointment of the coach. He didn't even hide his feelings about it. So all these things keep coming up, and you begin to ask yourself what is really happening. Now the assistant coach to the team, the newly employed technical crew, is now having issues with the journalists. So you begin to imagine what is happening. So it's more than the players. Now, it's not even about what is happening on the pitch. Like the drama that is happening off the pitch is even more than what is happening on the pitch. So for me, it's sad for Ghanaian football. Honestly, it's when we thought there are signs where maybe things are looking up for them. Now the World Cup qualifier is just around the corner. and you expect everybody to put their hands on deck and make sure that the team is fully focused, because they have a shaky start. Fine, they won one game, but they lost to Comoros. All those things, as if all those setbacks are not really a big deal to them, but all these side talk, all this off the pitch incident is gaining more. Is what is even gaining more. I don't know. So it won't do them any good at all. So I don't know how they're going to because this will keep on coming up. A lot of other issues will keep on springing up, and the that we saw is the Black Stars qualify for the Olympics after good showing in those games. When we thought after the outstar of the Black Queens, maybe from the Black, we saw what the under 20 and the under 20 men and the under 20 women did at the Africa Games. They won gold. So you expect them to kind of build from that, but what we are hearing now is something unpalatable. It doesn't all go well, because which will kind of bring up other issues, and the thing that is going to suffer for is the Black Stars.
Okay,
what they need now is competition. But when one of the members of the technical crew is suing the fourth estate of the ref, people who are supposed to be there to help the team. Fine, football, criticism is part of football, but when it goes beyond criticism, then it shows that there are some stuff that are part of it. So even just like when you said, before you came on board, there were issues about the appointment of John Paisley. This is what we are seeing now. So the Black Stars is going to suffer for it, honestly, because it's not going to go down. It's not going to go away anytime soon, honestly.
All right. Okay. Of course, according to John Paisley, he is suing these individuals and, of course, the organizations for libelous attack. James, still talking about Ghana. Recently, Samoa Gyan made a comment. He said he would advise Eto'o to build his team around Mama Kudus, and he honestly made mention of errors in Ghanaian football. He talked about the Abedi Pele era, Stephen Appiah era, Michael Essien era, his own era, that those eras have passed. Then he said this is a new era, and he will advise the coach to build this team around Mama Kudus being the star of the team right now. And a lot of people in Ghana misinterpreted that. They said it was an extension of his hatred for Dede Ayew. I wouldn't know whether there is an existing hatred between Dede Ayew and, of course, Samoa Gyan, because some said he wasn't happy that Dede Ayew broke his appearance record. But that, again, it is a massive distraction. And people are advising Mohamed Kudus now not to allow himself to be used by Samoa Gyan in order to get to Dede Ayew. But honestly, if you ask me, I think Dede Ayew's era in Black Stars has passed. And I think it is high time Ghana understood that and begin to actually build a team around Mohamed Kudus, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, spot on. Because this is a new era, and if you check out the Black Stars player, their biggest player now is Mohamed Kudus. Evident. We all can see what he's doing for West Ham United. Imagine his debut season, he has scored, he's into double digits. So
yeah.
Just to show that he's the top player now. So you expect the coach to want to build his team around such a player. So I quite agree with Asamoah Gyan, because you need that star player that everybody will want to look up to. So I don't think it's a case of trying to drag Dede Ayew into the picture. Dede Ayew is almost out of the picture now.
We even saw what Kudus did at the last AFCON. We saw what he did for Ghana.
He showed that he's the star man of the team. Unfortunately, he went to that tournament injured, but he still showed what he can do. So for me, for people to try to bring in, so it's not an offense for a respected figure like Asamoah Gyan to make opinions. People start reading so it's as if he doesn't have the right opinion on anything, which is very wrong. For me, I quite agree with him. Mohamed Kudus is the biggest star right now in the Black Stars. And any smart coach wants to build this around such a player. He has nothing to do with Dede Ayew. Dede Ayew has played the streets, the Black Stars. So we expect that even though a lot of people are even surprised that he still gets called up, but I don't really see the impact that he has been bringing into the team. You know, so for me, I think he has passed it. He has served the team well. He has done well for them too. It's now time for new set of players to come up for them. If that player they need to lead this breed, it's Mohamed Kudus and Samuel Jan just nailed it again. You know, so all those people are trying to say Samuel Jan is trying to get back, and these are just distractions. I don't think they mean well for the national team. They don't, honestly.
Okay. Okay, James, let's take a trip to Cameroon now. You remember last Friday we talked about the brewing crisis in Cameroonian football regarding the appointment of Marc Brys by the sports ministry, as well as the disagreement about the development, from FECAFOOT led by Samuel Eto'o. There was a memo that got leaked that on March 12, 2024, the FECAFOOT wrote the sports ministry about 3 shortlisted coaches for the Indomitable Lions, and that name had Jose Pesero as number 1. According to it, Pesero was demanding for $100,000 every month. That is about 1.2 million euros in a year. And then we also have Javi Reynard on that shortlist. Then we have Fabio Cannavaro as the 3rd option, before the sports ministry decided to, go ahead with their own individual plans. And now, yesterday, Marc Brys has arrived Cameroon, and I'll quote what he said. He had a brief interview with journalists, and he said, "I'm very excited. I like to get started already, and we are ready to put things in place. I was very happy with the selection process. It was very professional. I do not see anything professional in that selection process." But the thing is, Samuel Eto'o and FECAFOOT are declaring that appointment illegal. And the latest development now is that the emergency committee has given Samuel Eto'o 72 hours to name a new coach other than Marc Brys. So there is a very massive turmoil, brewing already in Cameroon. And at the end of the day, I think FIFA would just wield in and just throw the hammer.
I mean, I think sometimes when we people here in Nigeria, we should be, I know that we have our own issues, but I don't think we've done anything as bad as this. You will find the issue that we always have here is, okay, you don't like the person that you put forward. Remember there's this body that used to, forgotten the name now, this football body in Nigeria, that we are against the appointment of so at the end of the day, they have to back off. So, in the case of the Cameroonians, it's going from one crisis to another. So I don't know how to go through it, because they're like 2 bodies that are like, they can never meet, parallel bodies. I mean, you expect the sports, what do you call? I don't know what they call their own sports sport ministry. You expect them to work with FECAFOOT, but it's like everybody just doing their thing. Fine, you cannot rule out the sport ministry when it comes to the appointments of coaches, but it basically boils down to the football body. They really want to do the selection, and they give a feedback to the sport ministry. But what the sport ministry did in Cameroon, just go ahead without consulting FECAFOOT, which for me is only going to cause more problems for the team. I mean, you have the football body in Cameroon. They are saying they are now giving Eto'o ultimatum, whereas the sport minister already appointed a coach. So it only tells you that there is serious crisis, serious one.
James, at this stage now, who do you think should concede defeat? Do you think the FECAFOOT should just allow Marc Brys to handle the national team coach? Remember that even some of the backroom staff that the sports ministry appointed for Marc Brys, they are at loggerheads with Samuel Eto'o even before this appointment. But in this case now, who do you think should budge? Maybe should shift a boundary at this time? Do you think the sports ministry should allow Samuel Eto'o to do his job constitutionally, or the sports ministry, in order to let peace reign, the FECAFOOT should allow Marc Brys to just maybe play out as the Indomitable Lions coach?
Well, in this case, the sport ministry supersedes the football body. But it's sad that it has gotten to this stage. So I think what should happen is the FECAFOOT just for peace to reign. They should just allow the coach to be, because as it is, I don't think the because as it is now, what is going on now is about power play, and the sport ministry supersedes every association. That's why they can go ahead and appoint the coach without consulting FECAFOOT. That's to show how things are now. The things are so bad over there. That they don't care that the coach the fact that the coach has even arrived and he's already granting interview, just to show that the sport ministry is ready to go all out. They don't care what's going to happen. They don't care whether people are going to come in. They decide to take their position, and the coach is around, and I think what is just concede and allow the coach to play, and let's see what maybe the sport ministry they've seen what other people have not seen. Maybe it's a master stroke from there. We never can tell. So let's just wait and see. If at the end of the day it doesn't perform, I think it now boils down to FECAFOOT to just do the needful. I don't know whether they will have the power to sack him, because they are not the one that even appointed him in the first place. So it does going to show that the FECAFOOT, the sport body, the sport body, let me just say, the sport body in Cameroon, they are in shambles. Honestly, they are in serious.
Okay, I will wait to see whether the sport ministry move is a magic one, but I do not see that happening. I do not even see Averena going to coach the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, even for 5 million euros per year, because of all these shenanigans happening in Cameroon. We just pray that peace will reign. James, let's talk about the Olympic qualifiers. I don't know whether you saw the highlight of Zambia versus Morocco. If you thought Nigeria versus South Africa was a blockbuster, I think you need to see Zambia versus Morocco. Morocco went away to win 2-1 against all expectations. And James, the interesting thing in that game was the Jam Park Stadium. It will look as if you will think it was the Chipolo Polo that were actually playing, and of course it's just the Copper Queens. And Rachel Kundanaji and Barbara Banda couldn't just do it for Zambia. The Moroccans were clinical, and they scored their 2 goals at the dying minute of each of the half. What do you think is the hope of the Zambians reaching the Olympics now? Remember, tomorrow the second leg takes place in Morocco, and of course the Super Falcons as well. They will be taking on the Bayana in Pretoria tomorrow as well.
I think the Zambians, they find themselves in a precarious situation, because the first leg I gave them, I thought they were going to run the Moroccans, but I think the Moroccans showed that they can imagine force when it comes to African football. It goes to show that they're reaching the final of the last WAFCON was no fluke. So they've been showing the interest of a team that is really emerging. So we just left for them now to emerge champions of the WAFCON. I mean, I never gave them a chance to game with Zambia. When you look at players like Banda, look at Kundanaji, the Zambians, they are a team that they're ready to ruffle anything. They saw that they defeated the Falcons the last WAFCON. They eliminated Ghana, the Black Queens. So I thought I remember that they defeated Germany, former world champions, in the friendly before the World Cup. And I think they got a victory at the last World Cup. So it's a team that I thought they were around the Moroccan, but the Moroccans show that they have what it takes. And in that kind of atmosphere, they were able to make the victory. And I mean, I'm telling you, I think it might sound premature, but I think the Zambians they've got to the end of the game, because I don't see them doing anything against the Moroccans. Because the Moroccans, the way they have been coming up, I don't think after getting this victory in the first leg, they don't look at that team that are going to throw away an opportunity when they get one. So this is a big opportunity for them, and I think they're going to finish up the job in the second leg.
Okay, of course, the Moroccan goalkeeper was fantastic, was very, very outstanding in that game. James, before we leave the Olympic qualifiers, do you think Jorge Vilda, remember the coach that won the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup for Spain, is the difference in that team? Because from nowhere, we've talked about how female football hasn't grown in North Africa, but then we saw Morocco at the last AFCON that they hosted. and they finished second. Then we saw them at the World Cup. Now, do you think Jorge Vilda has brought something to this team? Because against Zambia, they defended very well, and they took their 2 chances quite well.
I mean, one thing about teams like Morocco is they don't have all the individual stars. What they do is they play as a team. And want to come up against the team. I mean, it's always difficult to beat them. That they know when to go all out to attack. They know when to defend, and they know how to manage the game. So for me, it's a good one for them. I remember their former coach was the former French international, Pedros. Who did well for them. So I think the new coach has kind of built on that. So it's a team that has quality players who are ready to work for each other. If you check out the Zambian team, they have individual players, but if you check the team very well, they lack so many things. Collectively, they lack a lot of things. So there's a stage, there's a level to where individual brilliance take it. And that's the difference between the Zambian team and the
Okay, just before we leave the talking point, let's talk about the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. Quickly, I run down the results now. Of course, Dreams FC of Ghana defeated Stade Malien 2-1 on aggregate. So Dreams made an historic qualification into the semi-finals of the competition. Then Zamalek 3-2 aggregate over Modern Future. Then USM Oja, Rivers United, defeated Rivers United 2-1 on aggregate. RS Bekane 3-2 over Abu Salam. So RS Bekane going through there. Then in the CAF Champions League, we have Mamelodi Sundowns. Of course, they defeated Young Africans 3-2 on aggregate. Then Al Ahly defeating Simba 3-0 on aggregate. I expected Simba to actually do better than that. Then Petro de Luanda, they lost 2-1 to TP Mazembe. I don't know whether TP Mazembe, they are back. I remember in the past few years, just a few years ago, they were the shining lights in African football. But a few years down the line, they kind of faded away. Then ASEC and Esperance, of course, Esperance won 4-2 on aggregate. James, let's talk about Rivers United and TP Mazembe quickly before we leave the big talking point. Did you in any way even see hope for Rivers United before the return leg yesterday? And the first half, I think the first half ended goalless. Then the second half, they conceded 2. Or I don't know whether I'm wrong, but in which case it was 2-0 and ended 2-1 on aggregate in favor of USM Oja, the defending champions. But did you ever think that Rivers United were going to do the impossible in Nigeria?
No, unfortunately, I never gave them a chance because I expected them to score more than that one goal. But Nigerian teams are poor travelers when it comes to the they always rely on their home advantage. But when they go out, they don't really do much. And playing against the North African team, experienced team that are current champions. I mean, when they play the first leg, they didn't take their chances. So for you to play with this team, you have to score a lot of goals. But it's not even a guarantee when you score a lot of goals. I remember when Aimba, that they took a 3-0 lead to Eto'o or one of these North African teams, and they blew it. Fortunately for them, they won that penalty. That's Aimba. So sometimes I think the North African they mastered the continent. They know how to make out the job. They know how to manage themselves when they go away. And they know what to do when they get okay. I think that's very difficult for Rivers United. So they just unfortunately they don't have those teams. That team that the likes of Imba when they always bank on them when they go away.
Okay.
To North Africa. They don't have those kind of teams anymore. They just rely on their home advantage. And the home advantage that they don't really take advantage of that much. So I wasn't surprised that Rivers United are out. So maybe the next season you will see better
Hopefully they'll be consistent. Last season they got knocked out in the quarterfinals. This season again quarterfinals. Hopefully next season they will go beyond that. As a matter of fact, in Nigerian Professional Football League, they would need to do better than they have done so far because they have backlog of fixtures and they are not even in a very good place on the table. What about Dreams FC, James? The TP Mazembe Dreams, historic semi-finals berth for them. Then, of course, TP Mazembe, it seems they are coming back from the death already.
Yeah, for dreams, I do go for them. They made in appearance and they got into the semi-final. So whatever happens from this stage, I think it's a win for them. Because nobody gave them a chance to go this far, and they've gone beyond expectation. So even if they crash out at this stage, I mean, they've done pretty well. So I'll say congrats to them. I never gave them a chance to go this far. I mean, it's not easy to play on the continent, and they've proven everybody wrong. So I hope that they're able to build on this. Whichever result that they get in the semi-final, say kudos to them. For Team Mazembe, they are a whole lot when it comes to the continent. But they won this. They won the Champions League on several occasions. They got to the final of the Club World Cup. So they are not a small fry. So they are a team that is well known. They know the continent, and I'm not surprised that they've gotten this far. So they are a team that you want to tip as one of the favorites because they are not strangers when it comes to playing on the continent.
All right, okay. So we hope that particularly the dreams, I'll be rooting for dreams henceforth so that at least they can achieve even a bigger height in the competition from nowhere. The first time in the CAF Confederations Cup, they are in the semi-final. Let's go on this very briefly. We'll back to talk about stand in the diaspora. Today, I told you we'll be going to Cameroon. Your guess might be as good as mine, but a lot of people might also be surprised. We'll see you on the flip side. So welcome back. It's still Sports Africa. Of course, we've been talking about issues regarding football in Ghana and Cameroon. Then, of course, the Olympic qualifiers. Don't forget that the return leg takes place tomorrow in South Africa, where the Super Falcons will be taking on the Bayana. And, of course, in Morocco, where the Copper Queens of Zambia will be taking on the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco. James, let's talk about our stand diaspora today. Is nobody other than Andre Onana. He seems to have turned the corner in his career at United. Earlier this season, it was bashing all around anywhere you turn on the internet. But even though he's been able to keep only 12 clean sheets since in as many games for United, but recently he won their Player of the Month for March. I think he deserves some kudos. So today is our star in the diaspora on the show today.
Yeah, good one for Andre Onana. It's unfortunate that it's a team that is struggling. That's why you think it's one of the reasons why the Manchester United have been performing poorly. But check out, there are some games that he has been outstanding. There are some games that he has kind of bailed them out. So I mean, Onana is not a small fry when it comes to people. So somebody who has stepped for the major teams in Europe, from Ajax to Inter Milan, now to Manchester United. So it goes to show that he has the quality. Let's just see what happens in the next season because this is already done and dusted.
Okay.
It's tough one for him, but in the past, as an individual, I think he has shown that somebody that has what it takes. So hopefully next season, we say Manchester United.
Okay, James, let's talk about the big match last weekend. It was Samatex versus Medima. And of course, I remember Cowdy saying that he would give it to Samatex. And of course, it ended 1-0 in favor of Samatex over Medima. They have now opened an 8-point gap at the top of the Ghana Premier League table. Are we going to see a brand new winner like we saw Medima won it last season? 8 points with 10 matches left to play. Quickly, James, we have just 2 minutes to wrap up.
Yeah, good one for them. I think I predicted a draw, but they did better than that. So it's a good one for them. 8-point gap. Now left for them to build on this because the pressure is going to be there. So it's not for them to continue to build and potentially become a champion. This is what we're talking about, not the Ashanti of Arts of Folk. I mean, these are teams are coming up. Last night it was Benema, now it's Samatex. So good one for them. I hope that they will to hold on and see the league through so that they become champions.
All right, fantastic one, James. Thank you so much for your thoughts on the show today. James, I agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So our fans across the world, please, we want you to get into the conversation. You've heard all we said about the crisis rocking football in Ghana as well as Cameroon, though I think that of Cameroon is on the bigger magnitude, but they are all in the same category. Please, we want you to get into the conversation. What do you think about what's happening particularly in Cameroon? Do you think it was right for the sports ministry to have appointed a coach without the knowledge of the FECAFOOT headed by legendary Samuel Eto'o? Please, we want you to get, whether you're from Cameroon or not, wherever you are, in the world or even on the continent, please, we want you to get into the conversation. Let us know what you think in the comment section, as well as in Ghana, where an assistant coach is suing the fourth estate of the realm journalists for what he called as libelous attack. Please let us know what you think in the comment section. We'll see you all on Friday. I remain Ashalolo Afemi. Have a great weekend. Have a great week ahead. The weekend just passed. Have a great week ahead for yourself. Bye for now.